Hello again, students. Welcome to Lesson 1 on anchors, paths, and the pen tool using Adobe Illustrator. You've just finished getting started with the Illustrator, just learning how to open up a document. This time we're going to kind of learn the different toolbars, options, and palettes, and then use the pen tool specifically for this lesson. Okay, so first of all, what you need to do is, now that you know how to access Illustrator and open it up, access this Crimson Art site, and what you're going to need to do is find this lesson number 1. It looks a little funny because I don't have the videos up here yet, but the vector pen tool exercise is what you want. Download that file. It should open up AI, which means Adobe Illustrator. That's the Adobe Illustrator file. It should open it up for you right from into Illustrator. Okay, so once you have that open, it looks like this. If I can find my Illustrator, there we go. Looks like this. Okay. So over on the left, once again, we have our toolbars. We're going to try to just pretty much just talk about the tools that we need for this assignment. Along the top, we have some options, and then along the side, we have the palettes. All right, so we'll be hitting some of those as we go. So with this pen tool, what we need to do is, we're working with typography. You guys have drawn some different fonts and some different artworks pertaining to typography. So it may look something like this later on, but what I want you to do is kind of complete this assignment. So open up that assignment, and we're going to get started. So the arrows at the top of the toolbar, this is called the selection tool. Now, if you hover over each tool, you'll see a little yellow window that pops, a little yellow box that'll show, give you the title of what each tool is. If you hit V on the keyboard, it'll just give you the tool automatically. If you hit A on the keyboard, it'll give you the direct selection tool, which is the white arrow. I'll be showing you those different things as well. We're going to be talking about anchors, handles, paths today. So I want you to get used to using that vocabulary. This is the pen tool. If you hit P on the keyboard, it'll give you the pen tool, and that's what we're going to use primarily for today. To zoom in, we're going to need to zoom in on this document. You can go to View. That's the long way to do it. You can zoom in there. But notice that symbol is also the Command key, also known in the Apple world as the Apple key, plus. So if you hold down the Command key plus the plus sign, it'll zoom in really fast for you, like this. Click a couple times, it'll zoom in real fast. Okay. If you hold down the space bar on your keyboard, you get this little hand that pops up, a little Mickey Mouse hand. If you click with the mouse and then drag it over, that's a good way to navigate around your document. Okay. The Apple or Command key with the minus sign is going to zoom out. Okay, zoom in plus, zoom out minus. All right. Hand on the space bar moves you around. Whenever you do that, though, make sure you have the arrow selected, the selection tool. Okay. So we want it big enough that we can see the directions when we do this, because what we want to do is trace out these letters. This is going to be good practice for when you start tracing out your own. Okay, and it's going to take you through some directions where it's going to have you click certain buttons on the keyboard. So you got to really pay attention to what the blue words are saying. Okay, I'm not going to do this whole thing. I'll maybe do 2 just to keep the video somewhat short. We're already up to almost 4 minutes, so let's get going. The pen tool is here. The pen tool, what the pen tool is going to do is going to drop, if you click once, that's called an anchor point. This little dot is called an anchor. If you hover over it, you'll see it in green. It's very small font, very small type. It says anchor. Now notice if I hover over that anchor, there's going to be a minus sign next to it, and it's going to, basically that's a symbol for take that away. I don't want that anchor there anymore. So I'm going to take it away. Notice next to the pen tool, there's a little X. Think of an old pirate. X marks the spot when trying to find a treasure, right? So that's kind of the thing. The X means you're going to place that anchor point there. All right. So now if I go over here, I'm going to click again, and what I did is I created a path. That's a path between 2 points. So 2 anchor points on, one on each side is going to create a path. This is also known as a stroke. The stroke is basically the outline or the line that's created. Right now we have a black stroke. And I think we have a palette over here. The stroke is over here, the palette. If you can't see the stroke palette, you need to come up to the window, and here are all your options for your palettes. The stroke is selected, so that's how we know we have it over here in our palette. Okay. We have some options for our strokes. You can put a curved edge to it on the cap if you want. On the corners, you can have a curved corner. You can increase the size of your stroke like so. You see how it changed? Okay. Just pay attention to that. You have to have, notice though, if you click off of your stroke, it's not selected. Let's say if I change the stroke here, if I change it back, look at nothing happens. So make sure that whenever you want to do anything as a vector, you have to click on the path so that it's highlighted in order to do anything to it. I'm going to switch it back to 1. Okay. Let's go back to our pen tool, and if I drop another anchor point, if I click again and hold the mouse key, it's going to give us a curve, and that's what we call a handle. Okay, this is called a handle. And now if we go to our direct selection tool, the white one, the white arrow, we can now click once on the handle and drag it. We can change the shape. Okay, if I click on the handle and hold down the command key, we can also manipulate that so that we take that handle away. Okay, now this handle's by itself. I'm holding down the command key, and I can move the handle kind of wherever I want. Okay. Now, if you make a mistake and you goof up, one thing that you can do is hit Apple or Command Z, or edit, step backwards. Okay. Where'd it go? Oh, undo. Sorry, undo move. I'm thinking of Photoshop. Undo move. Apple Z. That's the quick command. For step backwards if you don't like something. And what's cool about Illustrator is that you can step backward as many times as you want. It's going to give you a whole bunch of times to step backwards. So if you make a lot of mistakes, you can just hold down command on your keyboard and just click the Z, and that's going to get you a whole bunch of times. Okay, I better hurry up here. We're up to 6 minutes. So here we go. So just to recap, anchor, path, and we can make all kinds of shapes just by clicking just like that. Okay, so there's an example. All right. For your first assignment, what you need to do is finish off writing the word vector. So what we're going to do is start here. It says click to begin path. We're going to click here once. And then number 2 says hold shift and click. So I'm going to hold shift, click. And I'm going to go down to 3. I'm going to click, go up to 4, click, hold shift and click. What shift does is going to create a perfect horizontal or vertical line. That's what shift does. Okay, so we're going to get perfect lines that way. We don't want to do that when creating a diagonal, because obviously that's not what a vertical or horizontal line is. Okay, hold shift and click again for a perfect horizontal. And then I'm going to go up here and then finish it off. There we have our V. Notice what happened. We have a fill color of red. Over here we have our stroke color. And over here we have a fill color of red. Now, if we want to change that, all we have to do is double click on it, and this will pop up. Make sure that our shape is selected. If you want a color blue, you can just click on any color blue and change it that way. You can do the same thing to your stroke color. If I don't want a fill color, I can just have that selected and hit the cross through, the strike through, and it'll go away. I'm going to have to go back here and fill it with blue again. All right? Okay, so let's say I wanted to, let's just change the color of the stroke to, let's say, green. Why not? Okay, that gives it a nice, interesting kind of look. All right, so that's the fill and the stroke. All right, we're ready to move on. Here we go. Let's jump over. I'm going to jump. The E is really easy. I'm going to jump over and do the C because people seem to struggle with the C. So I'm going to work through this real quick, and then you guys can follow along. Now, 21, it says click to begin new path, hold and drag upward. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to hold the mouse and drag it upward, the handle, to 22. Now I'm going to release it to here and release. I'm going to go over to 22, hold shift, click and drag downward to here, 23. Now release. Okay, I'm going to hold shift and click, drag downward. I'm going to hold shift first, click and drag downward to 25 to here. Now I'm going to go up to 26, hold shift and click, drag upward. I'll hold shift first, click, drag up to 27. Now I'm not going to release anything because it says to here, but keep holding the mouse button, keep holding shift and click alt. So I'm going to hold down the alt, or on a Mac it's option. Hold down option key, and then I'm going to drag this handle. See how the handle moves? It bends by itself all the way to 28 to here. Now release the mouse button, release shift, and release option. I'm going to release everything. Okay. I'm going to zoom in again. I kind of clicked on accident. All right. Okay, so release shift and release option. Click and hold shift. So I'm going to click on it once, hold shift, Okay, I'm gonna click first and then hold Shift, Option, Alt, okay, and drag all the way down a long way to 29. Now release. What that did is it gave us a nice even edge, okay? You might want a nice crisp edge like that when you're doing your fonts, okay? So now I'm going to go up to 29, or that was 29. See, I'm going to go to 30. Spacebar, again, to help you move it around. Hold Shift and click. Hold Shift and click. Hold Shift first, click and, whoop. See, undo that. Undo, I made a mistake. So Apple Z to undo. Hold Shift, quit doing that. Click and drag up a long way to 31 to here. So now it says click Option. So I'm not going to release anything. I'm going to click Option, drag it back down to 32, release everything. Okay. I'm going to hold Shift, click, undo that. Hold Shift, click and drag upward to 33. Now release. Go over here to 34. Hold Shift and drag downwards. Hold Shift, drag downward to 35. Oh, 35 is here, but it says keep holding the mouse button, keep holding Shift, click Alt or Option, drag upward to the starting point, which is here, and notice it'll highlight the anchor point, and it should close it off. So let's see if it closes it off. There we go. Oop, what happened? Oh, that's right. That happens. So now all we need to do is click here. But notice next to the pen tool you have a little circle. That circle is a symbol for it's an enclosed shape. So whenever you see that circle, that's good because that's how you know you're going to enclose your shape. All right. So now we have a C shape. Okay. Now the O is very similar. So is the R. Okay. You just got to follow the steps. That's all for me. That's a long video. It's 12 minutes. Hang in there. Pause the video, work along with it, go back, but try to complete this assignment, all right, the best you can. Raise your hand if you need help. We'll be around to help you. Good luck. One more thing I forgot to tell you. We need to save this document, okay? So if you didn't get finished, we need to save it. So go to File, Save As. If you're still working on it, we'll keep it as an Illustrator file, so Save As. And then it'll pop up. Let's give it a second. Okay, there we go. Remember the format, if you're going to keep working on it, can be an Illustrator file. If you have a flash drive or you can keep it on your desktop, that's fine. But if you have a flash drive, it's best to save it onto there. And your flash drive will be located over on your left side. Okay. Looks like, yeah, right here is this one. For some reason, I think there's a student's. I do not own a flash drive that says Dingus on it, all right? So don't think it's mine. Anyway, that's the flash drive. So have a flash drive, save it on there. Say, type in your last name first, first name, last name. My D's working again. Fabulous, fabulous. And then change your format. It can be Illustrator. That's fine. Okay. If you're going to export it into the save drive or Schoology to turn in to get a grade for, you're going to go to File, Export, and same thing. Manders, or your first name, or your last name first, first name last, change it to JPEG. This is for when you save it to the save drive or Schoology. You got to make sure it's a JPEG. Click Export, and then you're good to go. Make sure you find the right folder. Put it in the right folder when you turn it in. All right, good luck, guys. Raise your hand if you need help.